morning. Welcome to Intergraph, a Hexagon company. I'm Stephen Cost, Intergraph's Chief Financial Officer. On behalf of our more than 12,000 global employees, over 1,200 of them here in Huntsville, we're glad to have you here today for this exciting announcement. For more than 40 years, Intergraph has been a leading global provider of geospatial and engineering solutions. Businesses and governments in more than 60 countries rely on our solutions to organize vast amounts of data and make smarter decisions. We count among our local customers the U.S. National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, U.S. Army Missile Command, Missile Space Intelligence Center, Alabama Power, Barron Services, and Huntsville Utilities. These are just a few examples of the organizations in our immediate area that use geospatial information daily. Through our global education program, we foster innovation as we partner with more than 800 universities around the world to further develop and implement the role of spatial technology in today's society. Through the expertise and innovation of the Hexagon family of companies, Intergraph empowers our customers to positively impact our world. We are the global leader in visualization technologies, and it all started right here in Huntsville. I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing to you Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle, who will present an exciting new initiative for our community.
It's amazing to look around this room, and this is where it all started. Before Google Maps, we had Intergraph, and Intergraph was the founding father of what we now call the geospatial industry. I can remember in 1985, 86, I was on city council, and they took me over to Huntsville Utilities, and they showed me a mapping system that was showing all the infrastructure throughout the city of Huntsville and where it was located, and it gave exact locations on everything, and it made a huge difference in your development side of what you were doing development-wise. From those days, we now have 50 companies, 50 private companies that are working in the geospatial field. We have 25 government entities and 3 universities who are all engaged in the general applications of geospatial. And the U.S. Department of Labor estimates that we will have 180,000 new jobs in the next 10 years coming out of the geospatial field. That's why the city of Huntsville is interested in working in the geospatial field. It's job diversification, it's job deployment, it's giving us jobs for the future, and it's an area that is not going to go away. Hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue are already pouring into the Huntsville area through the geospatial work, and we look for more. Geospatial technology affects almost every avenue of life, from determining where to place buildings and slope development to finding the lair of Osama bin Laden. The technology that is just more than mapping, it takes into account the cause and the effects of spatial relationships. And geospatial today is something that is very important to our community. It's the backbone of some of the efforts that we've already started, the cyber effort. It's the backbone of the energy effort, and so it's very, very important. You know, in leading this, we sat down with a table of what I would call some of our experts in the geospatial field. When was it, Joe? We were there about 2 weeks ago, and we were sitting down with a group of young, intelligent, bright, technologically savvy group who was going to lead this effort. And you looked around the table and you saw experts in the fields of geospatial. And those experts come from Huntsville. And when we start talking about Huntsville, we always talk about centers of excellence, but centers of excellence doesn't really say what it is that we're doing in this. Center of excellence says that there are haves and have-nots, and we are all a group of the people who know geospatial and know it well. It's more of center of collaboration, where one company can talk to the other and say, I have expertise in this. The other company can say, I have expertise in this, and they can team and they can partner on contracts. They can prime and they can sub on contracts, and we can make jobs for the whole Tennessee Valley area. Not just Huntsville, not just Madison, not just Madison County, but this whole 14 county area all across North Alabama. So this is something I'm very excited about. Joe Francica has agreed to chair up this effort, and and all these people who are working, they're getting paid a huge amount. They're all volunteers. And it's an amazing thing when you can watch these volunteers and what they do with these efforts. Everybody from the energy effort to the cyber effort to today the geospatial effort, from the Chamber of Commerce, Science and Technology Committee. They're all working as volunteers in our community to develop jobs for future generations of people in this community. And it's one of the things that I've got to say that makes me very proud to be in Huntsville, because people in Huntsville give back and give back on a daily basis. And Joe, I'd like to ask you to come up and talk about some of our efforts, because you will be working closely with Michelle Jordan. Michelle, where are you? Raise your hand. Michelle Jordan is our head of economic development for the city of Huntsville, and we'll be working with the Chamber of Commerce Technology Committee. And for many of you who don't know Joe, Joe edits, publishes, and puts out the leading geospatial magazine in the United States and probably in the world. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And so Joe is really an expert in the field, and he has mayors who stand by him so that they can nod and try to nod wisely. Joe, thank you very much for heading up this.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, thanks a lot for your direction and vision with regard to this initiative. You know, when people ask us what we do for a living and we say we work in geospatial technology, they kind of nod their head and glaze over and think I'm speaking a different dialect. And then when you say, well, what about Google Maps and Google Earth? You use that, as the mayor mentioned. They say, oh, yeah, you really do that. But what's really going on here is that the organizations, the government agencies, and the universities are really providing the backbone technology of what that type of mapping application does. From what Intergraph has done since 1969, when Jim Medlock started the company, to all the way up to some of the smaller companies, the one-man organizations that are currently working now. Companies like Aegis Technologies are doing wonderful things in building information models and 3D visualization for the upcoming London Olympics, as well as what they did in Beijing. And then, of course, as the mayor mentioned, the Missile and Space Intelligence Center, which is doing some really pioneering work in military intelligence, looking at where ballistic missile installations are. So there's really a lot going on already right here in town today. So we have this established base, and that's what we're trying to do, is find out where all of these companies are in town, connect the dots, let people network and communicate and collaborate. And yeah, there may be some competition, but the whole idea is to foster our individual talents and maybe create a geospatial technology center of excellence right here in Huntsville. I also want to mention the two other initiatives that we've already got going on in cyber and energy, and we have Jay Karowski and Jay Newkirk representing those organizations here. These three initiatives have a lot of overlap between them, and what we're trying to do is collaborate with each other to determine what the job possibilities are, where the contracts are, and understand our collective expertise. So I wanted to recognize those folks as well. In doing so, we're going to offer an educational opportunity in the form of a conference. For 5 years, we've had the Rocket City Geospatial Conference. We're going to rename that to the GEO Huntsville Conference. That'll be in November. We hope many of you will participate, but that's also where we're going to look at where this overlap lies. So there's a lot going on. And as the mayor said, we really want to ring the bell a little louder for Huntsville with regard to geospatial technology. And that's what I think we're going to be able to do. So again, I want to thank the mayor for, again, his vision, and we're going to help to make Huntsville a shining star of geospatial technology. Thank you.